An odd and auspicious way to start a video, but challenge accepted?
Tis Ray.
Hi, Ray. I'm Scribe.
So I have been basically doing the complete opposite as the white people who have gotten their panties in a bunch the last few days on my page have been able to do. Me personally, unlike y'all, I don't go out of my way to find people to disagree with or to find things to upset me.
That is absolute horseshit. Practically every example or event you reference in this video is something that occurred 50 to 150 years ago. You are more than happy to reach back into the bygone ages of history to find things to complain about. And you have the gall to claim victim points over things that have never happened to you from people you have never met. Get over yourself.
I have a life going on, I have responsibilities, I have bills to pay. Um, you're not even able to look away or just to say, you know what? If she really is wrong, if she really is stupid, if she really is talking out of her ass, I'm going to leave her in denial. No biggie, because you know I'm right.
You know, Ray, if you're not even able to look away or just say, you know what, if they really are wrong, if they really are stupid, if they really are talking out of their ass, I'm going to leave them in denial. No biggie, because maybe they're right.
The fact that I'm not saying things the way that you would prefer me to, not really your say so, but it really freaking upsets you, and I really love that. I do. I get off to white tears. I do. I'm not gonna lie. It makes me happy to put y'all in a mood, make you feel some kind of way. I love it.
Yes, racists usually do enjoy gloating over those they feel are inferior to them. Yep.
The thing y'all are too high and mighty and stupid and unable to research enough to actually understand, your tears and you feeling uncomfortable and feeling disrespected is not the same as systemic and systematic racism and sexism and homophobia. It's not.
Yes, let us watch as Ray is neither racist nor sexist in her oncoming comments at all, in any way. In any way at all.
Has there been any laws against white people outside of marrying non white people? No.
How many laws exist today that are specifically targeted against black people, Ray? How many? Today. I'll wait for you to give me a total.
Has there been any laws that say if white people are being served in this establishment, you cannot have a liquor license or serve customers? No. But the LGBT community had to deal with that.
Yes, there are no LGBT people who are white. No white LGBT person has ever been mistreated by the law. It's never happened.
And police brutality. And the FBI boarding up their bars and starting a fire and literally cooking the people inside of the.
I could not find anything on a gay bar that was burned down by the FBI after they boarded it up. Perhaps there's a conspiracy theory out there about such a thing. But I did find the most horrific gay nightclub fire presently on the books. The story came to prominence in the aftermath of the Orlando nightclub shooting, as the media reached back to find the previous worst attack on the gay community in America. And that was the fire at the Upstairs Lounge Club in New Orleans in 1973. 32 people died in that fire, and though no one was ever convicted of the crime, the evidence pointed towards a disgruntled customer. And of the 32 people who died, most of them were white. So, Ray, do those white tears make you feel good?
Have y'all had an entire community with doctors and buses and airports and churches and all these things just terrorized and bombed on American soil by Americans because people were jealous that you were doing your own thing? No, black folks had to.
Again, though you're not specific on what you're talking about, I assume you're referring to the 1921 Tulsa race riot. And indeed, that was a horrific act of collusion between the mob and the local government to kill scores of black people. But are you seriously going to say that no white city has ever been terrorized or attacked by Americans on American soil? Do you recall a little thing known as the Civil War by any chance?
Have you had people in the military starting fights with you just because they didn't like you, and then they start a riot and rip the clothes off of you and leave you in the street bloody and naked for the cops to come pick you up and arrest you? No. Mexicans have.
Again, you do not mention what it is you're talking about, so I have to assume that you are referring to the Zoot Suit riots of 1943. If you want to search through history for bad things that people have done to each other, we could be here all day.
Have you been beaten in the streets or told that you had no say so in your children's rights or their future, and your own family, if they died, they couldn't leave money to you? You couldn't vote until even after the free slaves could? No. Women have.
Yes, things were worse in the past, and they no longer are that way. Times change. What is your point?
So forgive me for not giving a damn about you thinking, oh, you're the real racist. No, the fuck I'm not.
Yes, you give so little of a damn that you made an 8-minute video explaining why you give so little of a damn. As far as being racist, tell me again about those white tears you enjoy so much.
I am simply reacting to the racism that my family has had to deal with every generation since you idiots have been here. And yes, my family was here before y'all. Fact. Genetics ain't lying.
Again, claiming victimhood for things that have not happened to you in the distant past. And now we're getting on to genetics.
For all of you people who are silly enough to say, well, you have white genetics, the majority of Africans in America have European in their blood because rape. So if you're using rape to justify a reason to silence a victim of systematic racism, you're probably not here able to control your emotions or speak on actual valid facts or accuracies when it comes to history. Doesn't work that way.
Ray, I have no idea what your genetics are. I do not make estimations of people based on their genetic heritage. Unlike you, apparently. All I see is someone who is victim claiming and staving off any and all criticisms of her with what boils down to, you're white, so your argument is invalid. That, Ray, is called racism.
Saying that a mixed person can't speak up about racism when I am Native American and African and Asian more so than any other, it's kind of beating around the bush, because I could literally talk about wetback laws, black codes, Jim Crow, voting restrictions, gun laws, anti-Asian immigration. Fuck with me.
Another list of things that no longer exist and are no longer in play. Ray, you can speak as much as you please. I have no interest, and I would make no move to try to silence you. I am more than happy to have people I disagree with speak out about what they think reality is. And I am more than happy to try to counter that when I come across it and can show how ridiculous it is. If you want to live perpetually in a world of victimization, fueled by things that are no longer relevant in this world, then go ahead. It's a free country. But do not think you will receive no response when you put these thoughts, theories, and accusations out into the public square.
Oh, well, you guys get the most scholarships and you get free college, you get that. No. White people get over 70% of the scholarships. Stop bullshitting. It's ridiculous. It makes you look dumber than,
Dumber than.
well,
I'm waiting for it.
the inbreeding it's really sad. It really is.
I'm not sure if that was the punchline or if that was an explanation for there not being a punchline. As for the scholarship disparity, I've provided a link in the description to an interview with someone who's done a lot of research into this, and it's not caused by discrimination by race, as much as I know you would like it to be.
The less you deal with, the less mentally you can deal with. I deal with plenty in my life, I always have. So your words ain't gonna do nothing for me. Fuck with me when you got research. And I'm not talking about a blog that someone's writing. I'm talking about actual, factual evidence.
I'm not sure what evidence of what you are talking about. Obviously, this is in reference to something that occurred that I have no idea about because I came across your video just randomly in a search. I don't know what came before. I don't know who you're responding to. So, as far as research is concerned, I've done as much as I possibly could, given the broad nature of the comments and references you've made. It wasn't so much to try to counter the fact that these things happened, if they are the correct events that we're talking about, but just to try to give some context to anyone else that might be listening to this.
Keep it coming. I don't mind. Just do yourself a favor. Do everybody a favor. And research what I'm talking about. That's it.
Challenge accepted and met.
We wouldn't have the Sylvia Riveras and the Malcolm X's and all these other people speaking up every generation and the same idiots that you are related to claiming they're lying. You're lucky we freed you. You didn't free us, bitch.
Who is us? You have never been a slave. You have never lived under the laws that you are complaining about. Who is us? Whose dire circumstances are you claiming victimhood for?
If I get raped and the motherfucker finishes, did he stop the rape?
I have to wonder if you can distinguish between the acts of individuals and those of quote-unquote white people. Do you understand that not everything that is done by someone in the past who happens to look like someone in the present is related? That they are of the same mind? That they are somehow equally to blame for things? Do you understand this? Otherwise, I suppose you are as guilty of selling Africans into slavery on the Barbary Coast, because you're part African. And Africans sold slaves. Slaves made of their own people. Are you to blame for these things as well?
Y'all are stupid. Dumb as fuck, really. You as dumb as you are ugly. And oh, speaking of ugly, there's not a motherfucker in this world that could ever convince me that I'm ugly or stupid. It's a motherfucking lie.
Define narcissism. As difficult a slog as this was, I appreciate everyone who stayed with me for the duration. So, thank you for watching.